We're live?
We're live?
We're live.
We're live?
We're live.
We did it!
Fashionably late, but we're here. Sorry, we were facing some technical difficulties.
What's new, right?
Yeah, what else is new in the streaming industry? But welcome back to episode 2 of the Ask Rudy Anything series. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Rudy.
This is Rudy. And today's topic is all about encoders. We'll do a little encoder 101. We'll talk about some hardware options. And then we have some exciting news that we're going to announce at the end of the stream. So make sure you stick through it.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, I'm Rudy Ellis. I'm the CEO of Switchboard Live, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. And we thought it would be good to just kind of take some time, because people always either email or tweet or ask questions about, you know, what an encoder is, and also like what encoders work well with our platform, right? And so we have some fantastic partners that we work with, and we thought it would be a great opportunity just to kind of show you guys some of the encoders that work with Switchboard Cloud. And then also, if there's any questions or comments, you know, provide a forum for you guys to be able to do that. So first off, I'd love to kind of introduce, this is device right here. It's called a LiveView Solo. We actually used this device in our last Ask Rudy Anything or our last stream. And the cool thing about this device is it actually supports SDI input. SDI is a rural kind of professional grade input from most professional grade cameras. But it also has support for HDMI, right? So it has SDI and HDMI, and it also supports Ethernet. So anything in live video or live streaming, you have to make sure you have some type of internet connection. But this device is actually even specialer because, if that's a word, it actually has 2 Wi-Fi modems involved in here, right? And so what that means is you can actually hook this on your belt. And you can plug in a camera via HDMI or SDI, make sure it's charged up, and you can go live on the street. So a lot of folks in remote places, people that don't want to rent a truck or have any high value type things, they can use a device like this and be able to go live pretty much anywhere. And this is called the LiveView Solo. And when you sign up and you use the product, Switchboard Cloud is actually one of the destinations. So you would configure inside of the unit to stream to Switchboard Cloud, and then you use our cloud platform to push it out to all your social channels, right? So, LiveView Solo, go for it.
So for those who might be new to live streaming and to multi-publishing, simulcasting, all of that, why do you need an encoder? I think that's a commonly asked question when people call us and they are interested, and we tell them, oh, like, what encoder are you using? Some people genuinely don't understand like what an encoder is and why you need it to go live.
Great question. So basically, an encoder allows the video from your camera or your source to get into a computer or a device, right? So for example, the LiveView device, it takes a feed from that camera or input source, converts it from a digital format, and then sends it out, via internet to wherever platform you need to go to. So, and these are what we have up here are examples of hardware encoders, right? You can also have an encoder that's on your laptop. So there's some great software encoders like OBS is a great, free product. You go to OBS software, and then that will allow you to take a device like this and hook your camera up again, same kind of ports, SDI or HDMI, and Thunderbolt into your laptop. And this allows the video to come into this device, which is a Blackmagic mini recorder, and then allow OBS or Wirecast is a great piece of software. And in fact, there is a Mac program called Ecamm Live, where Switchboard is actually integrated into, and that's a fantastic, easy, reliable product where it allows you to take a device like this, plug in your source, and you can go straight to your Switchboard account. And we've done some great work with the Ecamm team to really work on integration. And so, quick summary, in order to get video into your computer or your device, that is the encoder, and that's actually taking the video feed and creating the little bits and packets and sending it out via the internet.
Gotcha. I think another frequently asked question too is what's a stream key? I feel like that term is thrown around a lot. People are like, what the heck is a stream key and how do I get it?
Yeah, I don't even know where that name originated from, but that's just, probably a name of the trade. Basically, there's two things that you need whenever you're doing live streaming, right? And all of these hardware and software encoders support that. You need a URL of where you're going to send your video. So whether you're using Facebook or YouTube or even Periscope or Switchboard, right? You have a URL that usually starts with RTMP. That stands for Real-Time Messaging Protocol, right? So what that means is it's taking whatever bits that are coming in and it's going to send it to that server or that cloud infrastructure, right? The next thing you need a way to identify your stream from all the other streams that are coming into that server. And that's where the stream key comes into play. It's a way for you to identify your stream from your encoder to whatever said platform you're going to. And so think of it as kind of like your personal door to that server, right? So a lot of times you'll usually use the same stream key, but there's cases where there's one that's automatically generated on a per destination basis. But that's basically the way for you to connect your source to that platform.
Gotcha. So your stream key should be easily identifiable with whatever encoder you get. So don't think that you need to produce the stream key or anything like that. Should be made available to you.
Yeah. Most of the platforms, actually all the platforms, they will provide some sort of stream key for you to configure in your encoder. Or to make things even simpler, when you have platforms and encoders that do integrations, you just log in with your username and password, and it will pull your stream key and your URL down. And so that's what we do with FFan as well as LiveView as well.
Awesome. Did you want to go through the other?
Yeah. So this guy right here is a Teradek Cube. Again, this is I think the 655 series. It's a pretty robust device that has the ability to connect to a Wi-Fi unit. It has SDI input as well as HDMI, and it also has Ethernet. So a lot of these devices, they allow you to either connect via Wi-Fi, which the antenna is right here, or via Ethernet-based landline connection. And we recommend, if you're going to use any type of live streaming, and if you're in an environment where you can, Ethernet, still is your best bet. Reliability, higher bandwidth, it reduces the chances of something interfering actually with your devices. Something we actually experienced, 22 minutes ago, to be exact. And so yeah, this is a Teradek Cube, and this allows you to take video in via SDI or HDMI and pump this to whatever destination you want to go. Their product's been around for a number of years, and they're obviously constantly integrating or evolving the product and integrating with other platforms as well. It's a great piece of hardware out there as well in the market.
Definitely. So what would you think? Sorry, did you want to go?
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. What would you think is the maybe a disadvantage and an advantage of choosing hardware over software for encoders? So maybe one plus and one minus.
So I would say the advantages of a hardware encoder is if you don't have, computer, right? You don't have a computer or, or software on your computer that you want to use as an encoder, and you just want something that serves one main purpose, right? And so hardware devices typically will encode a little bit better just because they're built specifically for that task, right? Macs are great, but things can happen. You can have software issues, you can have, all different types of issues, right? That could potentially, come up and play. But if you have a dedicated device that's doing what it was built for, that's probably the benefit of hardware encoder. The downside is typically hardware encoders are usually expensive, right? So the cost to ownership of a hardware encoder could be, a little bit more than probably, a nice, good laptop that you could probably use, depending on the different levels of that, right? There are some, some inexpensively priced encoders as well. They may not have all the bells and whistles, but they will definitely get the job done. And we know a couple of them as well. We'll talk about them a little bit as well.
Gotcha. So if you're, a small business that just wants to dip their toe in live streaming or simulcasting, would you recommend software or hardware? Because I feel like in the long run, when you make the investment for hardware, like it'll totally pay off.
Sure.
But you're not really advanced, you don't have advanced knowledge with encoders, maybe you don't need something as sophisticated as a hardware option.
Good, great question. I think you could probably start off with a software encoder. The challenge with software is configuring that with your encoder, right? So if you are like, hey, I want to do a live stream, next Friday, and you have no experience, right? So that in itself is the hurdle you have to overcome. You have to go to YouTube or ask questions or identify, I have this camera, how do I get the camera into my laptop? And then how do I configure the software to use the camera? So there's all these kind of technical challenges, whereas this, it's camera, plug in, hit a button, right? So there are some simplicity elements in place with hardware encoders that for novice users that help you to overcome that. But I think it really depends. I think for most people it probably would make sense to just get the concept down, by using either one of the encoders and really learning all the features, learning as much as you can about that encoder, and then also identifying what your requirements are, right? If you want something where you just need to go mobile, it's going to be kind of hard to plug this thing down on your hip, right? Yep. Whereas if that, you have your camera, you plug it in, you hit a button, and it's going to go live, that's really easy. So, long-winded answer, probably figure out what your requirements are, do your homework, but you can't go wrong with either one. I would just say as long as you put the time and effort into it.
Gotcha.
And so lastly, I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. So this is the Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini Recorder. Now keep in mind, these aren't all the encoders out there. There are tons of encoders in the market. You can get them at B&H and Amazon. There's a great, different options and different versions you can use. But this is more of a converter, right? So this, again, allows you to take a signal from a camera, whether it's SDI or HDMI, and most prosumer cameras will have HDMI as the output, and then via Thunderbolt be an import into your computer, right? So this allows you to be able to input that into a Mac, for example. And there are also similar type devices. Magewell makes one that has USB 3. So if you're a PC user and you need to connect, your encoder or connect your converter to your laptop, you can actually use that via USB 3 as well. So yeah, there's, these are just some, some great options that you can definitely use, and yeah.
So this is a question that was submitted ahead of time, and you talked about how there are many options for encoders, and these really just scratch the surface of how many are out there. But somebody submitted a question ahead of time, and it said, I don't know if you can answer this, but as someone who is a newbie to live streaming and multi-streaming, why are there so many encoder options? Is there much of a difference between all of them? Totally understand if you can't speak to this, LOL.
LOL. So that was a question. So why are there so many options?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like what separates, LiveView from Teradek from, et cetera, the rest of them?
To be honest, it's probably features. There's going to be features, I guess
it's hard because we're definitely not an encoder company.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Based on just like you said, my judgment would be features, obviously cost,
at the basic level, they all do the same thing. If that's what you're asking, they'll all probably deliver the same results. It's just a matter of the bells and whistles that you get with some brands opposed to others.
Gotcha. Okay. And yeah, depending on hardware as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have different pieces of hardware that you're connecting to your infrastructure, right? Maybe you have a bunch of computers or a bunch of hardware encoders. There could be some advantages to that as well. So yeah, that's a tough question to answer, just because there are so many different types of use cases really that can be in place. So.
And then finally, we have one last hardware encoder to talk about. It's a very important one that is close to our hearts right now. But I think that we can from our friends over at Epifan Video.
So let me get a sec here. I think I may have hit the gun too early.
So I have a ton of gear here, just hiding right in the wings here that I'm going to pull out in a minute and show you. But before I do that, let's get to a little bit of product news. So one of the things we have going on is our mighty Webcaster X2. We have opened up the API so that people like Switchboard can build into the API for Webcaster, right?
Right.
Or using the API.
Yes.
But what it does mean for those of you who do streaming over the Webcaster X2 is you can take advantage of Switchboard and do multi-streaming with it. So they have a service where I can do one stream up to their platform, and from there you can manage your streams and do a little bit of a more professional broadcast. I guess you have better structure over your streams and how you go live. So we do have some other news. We have a contest coming up where you can win a Webcaster. You don't know about this.
I don't know about this.
We're also going to give away, we've teamed up with our friends at Switchboard and give away a year of free service for Switchboard.
Ooh, very cool.
So keep your eye on our social posts as we'll be posting this contest soon. It's going to be one of these contests where we'll ask you to enter. You have to like the post or subscribe to our channel or send us an email, that kind of stuff. So it's a great way to get a free Webcaster and a free year of Switchboard service.
So that is the Webcaster X2 by Epifan, and we're extremely excited for this integration that we've done. This allows Switchboard Cloud to not only connect to the device, but also control the device. And we actually have a setup over here that we're going to kind of pan to. So Jordan, our producer, is going to kind of give you guys a quick shot. So this is the interface. And actually, I'll get my Vanna White hands going on. So this is the Webcaster X2. Similar to the other devices, it has a Wi-Fi, antenna here. It also supports HDMI input. It has USB for future use as well. You can record via micro SD. It has Ethernet-based connection right here as well. USB port, so if you want to hook up a mouse and keyboard to kind of set up the device, you can do that. And this is HDMI out, just so you can see the interface. And as you can see on the screen here, they currently support YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and AV Studio. And most recently, they launched at IBC the ability for, inside of Switchboard Cloud, you now have the ability to link your Switchboard Cloud account to control your Webcaster X2 for greater reliability, and also from an easy use to start and stop and control the device. And so we're extremely excited to talk more about this partnership that we're working with the team over there. We have some things that we're going to be unveiling over the next coming weeks. But for us, this was something that we want to do more of. Deeper integrations with encoder companies to make it really easy for folks to not have to worry about stream keys and RTMP URL information and so forth. And what we'll probably do is, probably in a future live stream, we'll actually do a deeper dive explaining how to pair your device, how to control your device, how you start and stop, and all the cool features that we've done with the Webcaster X2. So super excited. We're super appreciative of the guys over at Epifan. And yeah, I don't know if you have any comments.
Speaking of diving deeper into how it works, we actually will be going on Epifan's live stream. We good, Jordan?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Sorry. We will be going on Epifan's live stream on October 25th.
Right, exactly.
Rudy will be, I won't be there. But yeah, definitely doing a deeper dive into setting it up, how it works, how you're really going to benefit from this integration. And as Matt and George mentioned in their video, we are doing a contest giveaway with them, where you will be able to win a free Webcaster X2 as well as 1 year free of Switchboard Cloud, which is a pretty awesome deal.
That's a fantastic deal.
We haven't released any info yet, but definitely be sure to follow both us and Epifan on social so you can get all of the updates on that contest.
Awesome. Well, cool. I don't know, do you have any other questions or anything you want to talk about or plug, or are we good to go?
I think we are good to go.
Well, guys, we really appreciate you guys spending Tuesday afternoon with us. I'm sorry for some of the technical difficulties. I think we got a couple, kind of a hand about our audio. This is, episode 2, so we're practicing what we preach. We're getting out here, we're trying things out, and we're tweaking it each time we go around. So
third time's the charm.
Third time is the charm, right? Exactly. So we actually have some lights we're going to be using and so forth. So I'm excited. Hannah's excited. Jordan's definitely excited back there, giving us the thumbs up on certain things. But yeah, if you want to learn more, definitely go to switchboard.live. Follow us on all socials. Switchboard Live, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, so LinkedIn.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Quora,
Reddit,
Reddit, right? Yeah, exactly. So thank you again for your time, and until next time. See you again. Bye, guys.
Bye.